That's Nick.
And that's Joseph, and today we're here to talk about a very special film, The Lovebirds, which will be available to stream on Netflix May 22nd, 2020. It is the fourth film directed by Michael Showalter. It was supposed to premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival, which was of course canceled. Then Paramount was going to release it in early April in theaters, which of course didn't happen. So now here we are. Netflix bought it.
What is this person's previous works?
He is probably best known. His last film was 2017's The Big Sick, which was a huge hit, which also starred Kumail Nanjiani, which is a film based on his relationship with his actual wife.
Kumail's?
Yes.
Okay.
Which you have not seen.
No.
His first film was The Baxter in 2005, and then he also did a film with Sally Field in 2015 called Hello, My Name is Doris, which is a film that I'd say is worth a watch.
Okay. So the film stars Kumail Nanjiani. He plays Jibran, and Issa Rae plays
his girlfriend,
Leilani. So the film opens with the two of them waking up to what was a one-night stand, and they clearly have a connection. They go have breakfast, and the rest is history. So flash forward 4 years, and they're in their apartment having like a couple's quarrel based on Jibran not wanting to apply for Amazing Race.
Yes,
because Leilani wants to be a contestant.
I think they're establishing there that he is a bit pretentious and she's a little more
carefree.
Yeah.
So they're arguing. They get into the car to head to a friend's dinner party, and on the way, at the moment that they decide they're going to break up, Jibran hits like a bicycle messenger. So they stop, attempt to help the gentleman, but he doesn't want help. So clearly he's trying to evade something. So they let him go, and a man runs up to the car saying he's a police officer and he needs to take their car so he can apprehend the bicycle messenger. They let him, a chase ensues. The cop runs over the bicycle messenger several times to kill him and then flees the scene. So of course Jibran and Leilani are freaking out. A couple of bystanders walk up to the dead man and say oh my god, you two killed this man. And like any reasonable person would say that's not what happened, call the cops, we were carjacked. They decide to just run.
Yes.
And that's where the film starts. They just spend the night running from police, but also attempting to apprehend whomever's responsible, which just seems so ridiculous. And it is.
Like Liam Neeson, they run all night.
Ultimately, they don't solve anything. The police realize that Jibran and Leilani are not responsible because there were cameras throughout the city that saw that they were carjacked. The police officer who carjacked them is a police officer, but he's corrupt. He's working for this Illuminati type organization called Sacrarium, and he is trying to get rid of evidence, and that's why he needed to kill the bicycle messenger.
Well, because I think it's important to know he was hired to protect Sacrarium, but is also blackmailing them because of their illegal activity.
Yes, it's complicated for no reason. So Jibran and Leilani end up killing the corrupt cop, and then the police come and everything's okay. And then the final scene is 1 year in the future, and they're participating in the Amazing Race. The end. I did not like this movie.
Yeah, you were very frustrated.
I was very frustrated because I like Kumail.
And I like Issa Rae.
I really liked Stuber, and I've liked him in almost everything I've seen that I can think of. I think he's funny.
Yeah.
I like Insecure.
Of course, yeah.
I didn't like Little, and I haven't seen The Photograph.
I really liked her in The Photograph, I think. Because I think as we were discussing mostly after this is how Issa Rae's not really a comedian. She's, I think a little more well-rounded than that.
Yeah, she's a talented writer, and I think a good actor. I think this role was beneath her. This character was beneath her. It's not funny. She's playing kind of like a I mean, not a very savory character. Like, she's kind of ridiculous and incompetent.
I think they're both unlikable.
They're just bumbling idiots.
Yeah.
Like, also, their relationship seems so flimsy. So it's very predictable that they are going to, like, mend their relationship and get back together, which they do. But, like, all based on what?
Right. This great love. Yeah, they don't really have any chemistry. For them to be all falling in love again.
I don't really have anything to say. The only thing is the Sacrarium, this like Illuminati type group, it's like the sort of focal point of the film as to why this is happening. And it seems to be an organization that is...
I had a hard time.
Like, they're occupied by all these like powerful people, but like we don't understand what they're doing that's illegal.
Well, they're just having...
Because the only thing we see them doing is having a sex party.
Yeah, they're having orgies. And no Eyes Wide Shut jokes. I was a little like...
It's very Eyes Wide Shut,
Like-
they all are in the party with masks on.
No, but like somebody should have said something about Eyes Wide Shut. It was written by Aaron Abrams and Brendan Gall, who previously wrote a film called The Go-Getters in 2018, which I did not see. This just felt like something that was overly mannered and rehearsed. Like this should have felt like a slapstick comedy, because it's what it's trying to be. But
It would have worked if it were more slapsticky, but I think the only way that would have been possible is to get like leads who are good at that.
yes, and there were too many times where it's like it doesn't make sense that this is happening. Like, why would they run from the cops? It's the same problem I had with Queen and Slim, where you have a woman who's a lawyer running from the cops. Granted, yes, there's a whole history of police brutality, blah, 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 with people of color. But in these scenarios, maybe this isn't the best thing to do.
Also, like, Jibran is the documentarian. Leilani works for an ad agency. They're presumably like college-educated people. They seem to be doing well in life. It just makes no sense. Even the officer who's like investigating throughout, when this detective tells them like, we know you didn't do it, she's like, yeah, you don't even fit the profile of people who would do something like this. Like, why would you even think that we would think you did this?
Right, and then
as the audience, I felt that way. Like,
right.
No one's gonna believe that you did this.
Well, also you have the ability to pay for a lawyer. Like, these aren't people that are destitute enough where it makes sense that you would or should run.
And it's okay that there are a lot of films like this that don't make any damn sense, but they're still funny. This film just isn't funny. No. I only giggled a couple of times. I was rolling my eyes and grunting more than anything else. I was so annoyed.
It falls as flat and is very similar in tone to something like Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey, which, also is a film about a couple that's goes through this dangerous episode on a date night, and also two people that are good at comedy that fell terribly flat.
I would give this film 1 out of 5 stars.
I would 1 out of 5. I think is fair. Did you also want to comment about how different Kumail looks from? Because in the opening scene, he looks markedly
this film feels like it was shot in like a couple of days, and then maybe like they did some reshoots,
and then he had been physically
he had
altered.
already done his extreme workout, because he does look, which whatever. That's the least of this film's problems. But it's on Netflix soon, and it'll be free to stream if you pay for an account or steal someone's password. So I guess if you want to watch it in the background. I don't think there are any memorable funny moments. No,
and even the scene that it ends on, which is playing with a sequence that happens with a horse earlier on. Like, it's very, like, that's what the punch that you came up with? Yeah, the end joke that's relying on a previous scene, that previous scene wasn't that funny. No. So it's like a double, I guess a double negative to positive. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have. Okay. Bye. Bye.